What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Rantin review here on the YouTubes, Facebook, and everywhere else that we cover this stuff, and in particular Twitch. So this video, I wanted to kind of go into a bit of an explanation for those of you guys who are not familiar with this series that's coming up as to why I'm doing it. But a couple weeks ago, about a month or so ago, I did start doing gaming playthroughs here on the channel. Started with the Man of Medan. That was an interesting experience, but I'm glad I went through it because it allowed me to work out all the kinks and kind of figure out how I wanted to do streaming with gaming on the channels. And it was to lead up to this. It was to lead up to what's happening this weekend. A lot of buzzes around it. It is the Legendary Edition of Mass Effect. It is dropping this weekend. I already have the pre-order. I'm looking at the little countdown thing on the screen. It's telling me when it starts downloading and when can I get it and when can I get my hands on it. And I did want to take this time to explain to you guys why this series in particular is something I really wanted to do on the channel. Mass Effect is this, for those of you who don't know, because I know there's a lot of people who don't know some of the stuff that I'm really interested in and get involved with outside of, New Japan and blah, blah, blah. But Mass Effect is really near and dear to me. It is a game that I would put up there with Star Wars, with Star Trek, with Battlestar Galactica, whatever, Firefly, whatever sci-fi thing that you're really, really into. I put it up there with that because the story is that good, the universe that they created is that good, the characters are that good, and it's a game I played through, I think, about 3 or 4 times now over the last 10 years, and the series is something special to a lot of people. And because it is so near and dear to a lot of people and near and dear to myself, and I'm sure there's people in my audience who it's near and dear to, I'm going to be very much looking forward to discovering who you guys are out there. I really thought I wanted to share my love of Mass Effect with everybody else in this, my community of people who like different things that is continuing to grow and expand. And it's a cool thing that I love the fact that YouTube is a platform I can do this on, where I can express my love of pro wrestling, and I can express my love of writing, and I can express my love of building things. So to break Mass Effect down for somebody who's never played it or doesn't know anything about it, it is kind of a space opera. Like I said, it's a little bit Star Wars, a little bit Star Trek, a little bit mythology, and it's a little bit modern. It's set in the future after humanity has achieved interstellar travel. And we discovered a beacon or some ruins on Mars, and that led us to first contact with a group of aliens known as Taurians. Taurians and the humans didn't get along too well, and there was the first contact war, which us humans call it. So that war went on for a little bit, but eventually there was peace, sort of, that was broken out between the humans and the Taurians, and humanity was then opened up to the galactic community, and we were then part of this big wider world or universe, I should say, galaxy, that we were not aware of. And that is one of the cool things about any kind of science fiction, is that when it can take humanity and plop it into a space where you can see that we are all humans and there are different other species out there. You wind up playing this character, Commander Shepard, which you can choose to be male or female. You can basically design the character to be almost anything that you want. And you are chosen to take on this mission. You can develop your own backstory from a list of backstories that they have. You can be ruthless. You could be a hero. You could be a soldier. You could be a tech. You could be anything within their... there's a lot of options. And once you get in there, you find that while humanity's kind of new to the galactic community, we're kind of looked at as kind of upstarts and hotheads, which we are. And some of the other races and species don't like us too much, but we come across something fairly important at one of our colonies that was attacked, and that important thing leads to the rest of the story. And if you notice, I'm being very vague here because for anybody who hasn't experienced Mass Effect, I don't want to ruin the story for you guys. It'll be a lot of fun to play through it and for you guys to see the story as it unfolds as I play through it if you haven't seen it. But those of you who've played through Mass Effect, you know what the story is. And it's a pretty awesome one. Now, again, I'm not a big gamer. The main theme with me and all the stuff that I like is I like good storytelling, and Mass Effect beyond video games, and a lot of people get hung up on stuff. Like, I know people get hung up on, oh, it's a video game, I don't care. Oh, it's an anime, I don't care. Oh, it's in wrestling, I don't care. Oh, I don't like comic book movies. I don't like comedies. I don't like reality TV. It's like, I don't really care about all that stuff. If there is a good story, I don't care what format it's in, I'm going to experience a good story because I like good stories. That's why we're doing so many different varieties and styles on here. One of the big things about Mass Effect, I guess, beyond the story, is the characters and the crews that you have. So in all 3 games, it's a trilogy, you meet these different crew members, you pick them up along the way as you go through the adventure, and they all have their own distinct personalities, their distinct good sides and bad sides. You, as your character, are going to be experiencing some of these people's lives and reconciling some things that they have with their past, with their present, what their future may or may not be. Of course, this is a choice game, so you can decide how you interact with a lot of your crew, and that has consequences down the line. For instance, and this is one of the things that Mass Effect was very much known for back when the original game first came out, what was that, 13, 14 years ago, whatever it was in the first game, there is a point in the game where you have to make a decision. One of your crew members is not going to make it, and you have to decide, is it going to be this one or this one? And at the time, that was like a huge thing, because characters dying in video games, you know, even going back to like Final Fantasy, I think it was Final Fantasy 7 or Final Fantasy 8, that was like a big deal when a character would die. But never before in a game had it been because of something that you chose as a participant. Like to that level where you actually had to, in the heat of the moment, make a choice, and that choice was going to have ripple effects throughout the rest of that game, and actually through the rest of the series, which is one of the great things that Mass Effect has done. There are a lot of decisions in these games. I mean, and that's why the replay value is so high of Mass Effect. You can basically play this game about, I would say, at least 20 times and get a different experience each time. Depending on what you chose to do. You know, how you approach people, where you go, what missions you take, what missions you don't take, what people you encounter, what people you don't encounter. If you help, especially in Mass Effect 2, there's a bunch of loyalty missions where, you know, in order to kind of complete the goal at the end of the game, I'm trying to be, again, coy about it because I don't want to give away a lot of stuff, a lot of spoilers for people who haven't watched it or haven't seen the game yet. There's a lot of decisions that you make that if you make the wrong decisions or you make decisions that aren't right for the character, I should say, some people might not make it. In fact, you might not make it out of some of these games. There is an option, there is a possibility that in the middle of the series, your main character might die, and yeah. So it's that level of choice that Mass Effect introduced, which was very intriguing, and it's that has spilled out into the popular culture. Obviously, other games have adopted a lot of Mass Effect, but Mass Effect's shown up in a lot of other places. Those of us who are fans of Mass Effect, we see when you see it out on another, or like a TV show or a Netflix show, certain Marvel movies, there's little things that you're like, that's just like Mass Effect, you know? That's how much Mass Effect is influenced in the culture. It is one of the top tier, gold tier, god tier video game franchises in existence. And it's saying a lot for a game that, especially the first one, had a lot of glitches. There's a lot of bugs. It's not a perfect... I mean, if you're into, like, perfect gaming stuff, which is not what I'm into gaming for, but if you're into that and combat and shooter stuff, this Mass Effect is not good for you. Now, the second and third game, it's a lot better. The first one, which is the question with the Legendary Edition, are they improving the combat? Now, I've seen videos where they say they've improved the combat in the first game, so I don't know. And you're not going to know until you play it. You're also not going to know what bugs are going to be in the Legendary Edition, because EA and BioWare and the Mass Effect series is kind of notorious for some really serious bugs that can get you stopped in the game. And actually saying that, it's magnificent, and it makes it even more fascinating how Mass Effect has become such a legendary franchise when there are a lot of kind of glitches and issues within the game. But, you know, it's to be expected when you have a game where, you know, you're as close to unlimited choice as we can probably get with current technology. And whoever or whatever's coming in the future, it is kind of, I do consider Mass Effect to kind of be a template of where games are going to go in the future. And again, a lot of other game franchises, Resident Evil, so on and so forth, have adopted some of the things that Mass Effect did. Now, starting tonight, I am going to be putting out a survey of a couple basic questions that I'm going to have a lot of you guys fill out for me as far as some basics about Shepard. And for those of you who watched the Man of Medan playthrough, at certain points in the game, because it is a choice game, I'm going to be asking you guys live, should I choose this or should I choose that? Some things I'm not, because I know I kind of want a decent playthrough, and I kind of know the kind of playthrough that I want to have. But other things, like, I'm not, well, again, I'm not going to say it. But check out the survey. It's linked down below. It's on my Twitter and Facebook, and sent out to the mailing list and the Patreon, all of those places. So fill it out and let me know what you guys think, for those of you guys who are into Mass Effect. And maybe if you don't know anything about it, you can just make choices and go, I don't know what this crap is. I'm just going to pick whatever. That's perfectly fine, too. I want to see what you guys think about it. And that's one of the big reasons why I wanted to do this on Twitch and on YouTube live stream with you guys in the chat, because the interactivity, I think, is going to be a very interesting experience playing through Mass Effect. There's a couple of DLCs that I didn't get ever for Mass Effect that are going to be completely brand new to me. And seeing how you guys think I should react and asking you guys questions about what's going on. So the Man of Medan experience we had was pretty cool with the few people that did it, but I'm expecting there to be a couple more people involved in this one, because Mass Effect was a far more popular game than the Man of Medan. So we'll see what goes on over the next couple of months. But again, I just wanted to kind of go through this explanation now, instead of when we start playing the game this weekend, so I don't have to go through this whole explanation to people who are like, what the hell is he doing? Why is he playing this video game? This is why, again, the core of the rant and review, the core thing about me is storytelling. If you guys have any other questions or anything else, let your voice be heard down in the comment box below. And again, check out the link down below for the survey that we will be putting out about a couple questions I'm going to ask about setting up my Shepard this weekend. And I look forward to seeing you guys this weekend and out throughout the rest of the week. We're going to be covering AEW Dynamite later on this week. We got a retro review of Daredevil from Netflix, and we got some news coming up about the next few Marvel movies, and a bunch of other stuff here on the Rant and Review. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys this weekend. Have a good day.